That's the secret to being unbeatable. Chippy only have a family. Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl. Name. Name. Doreen Aline Green. Current alias. Squirrel Girl. Aliases. Lady Crimepocalypse. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Nicknames: Nutball, Nutcase Girl, Rodent, Tail Girl. Other aliases: The Anti-Life, Bass Lass, the Slayer of all that breathes. Okay. Affiliation and relationship. Formerly U.S. Avengers, AIM, American Intelligence Mechanics, SHIELD, Squirrel Avengers Initiative, New Avengers, AIM, Ally of New Avengers, Great Lakes Avengers, Wisconsin Initiative Team. Relatives. Parents: Dorian Green, father; Maureen Green, mother. Clones and donors: Aileen Green. Squirrel Pool, daughter. Marital status: single. Physical characteristics: gender, female; height 5'3", weight 135 pounds. Eyes: brown. Hair: brown. Unusual features: 3-foot prehensile tail, small claws on each finger and toe. Origin: human mutate with squirrel DNA. Living status: alive. Reality: Earth 616. Place of birth: Los Angeles, California. Personal information: identity, public; citizenship, American and Canadian. Occupation: second year computer science student, adventurer. Education: college. Creators and appearances. Creators: Will Murray, Steve Ditko. First appearance: Marvel Superheroes Volume 2, Issue 8, November 1991. Doreen Green was born to Dorian and Maureen Green. She suffered a modification in her genes for unknown reasons that granted her squirrel-like abilities, which manifested predominantly in the form of a prehensile tail. When her parents consulted with a doctor, it was determined that Doreen wasn't a mutant, even though she believed so for a long time. When she was 10 years old, Doreen discovered she could communicate with squirrels after overhearing one of these rodents in her window. She subsequently saved the squirrel from being chased by a dog, and they became friends. The squirrel, who identified himself as Monkey Joe, encouraged Doreen to use her abilities to help people. Ever since then, Doreen began to fantasize about becoming a superhero and came up with the alias of the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. First adventures. When she was 14, Doreen ambushed Iron Man in a California forest near Stark Enterprises headquarters and helped to impress the veteran hero, wishing him to take her under his wing as his sidekick. Unimpressed, Iron Man politely declined, when suddenly the duo was attacked by Dr. Doom and a large aircraft. Doom captured and subdued Iron Man and began to fly out over the Pacific Ocean, where he planned to dispose of Iron Man's body once he killed him. Underestimating her, Doom left Squirrel Girl to her own devices. She devised a plan and used her ability to communicate with squirrels through an open door as the ship passed over the forest. Hundreds of squirrels answered her call and flooded Doom's ship, chewing through the wires and swamping the evil dictator with their furry bodies. Iron Man was freed. They emerged victoriously, and the two heroes went their separate ways. Shortly after her 15th birthday, Squirrel Girl assisted the Hulk, who landed unconscious one day next to her treehouse in the middle of a fight against the Abomination. A concussion had blinded the Hulk, so he had to reluctantly accept Squirrel Girl's help. After swarming Abomination with squirrels, Doreen directed Hulk how to move to land punches and dodge attacks until the villain was knocked out. Great Lakes Avengers. Squirrel Girl later relocated to New York City while fighting crime in Central Park. She saved the Great Lakes Avengers from muckers, for which the GLA recruited her. Alongside her new teammate, Squirrel Girl witnessed the death of Grasshopper and became very frightened, but was determined not to give up. Thanks to her squirrel army, Squirrel Girl was able to help stop Maelstrom from destroying the world. After Squirrel Girl made a fuss to be certain that Monkey Joe was an official member of the team, he was apparently killed by Dr. Doom seeking revenge. In actuality, this was a rejected member of the GLA named Leather Boy, and a variation of Dr. Doom's costume. Squirrel Girl found a new squirrel companion, the only one of her squirrel army who had survived the Maelstrom's wrath, whom she named Tippy Toe. Squirrel Girl and Tippy Toe managed to individually defeat MODOK, Terrax, and Thanos. Uatu, the Earth's Watcher. It's cool. Was on hand to confirm that the Thanos she defeated was the real thing, and not a clone or copy of any kind. After MODOK's defeat, Dum Dum Dugan offered Squirrel Girl a position at S.H.I.E.L.D., explaining that they'd been watching her for some time and found her to be one of the most effective people ever at defeating powerful supervillains. Squirrel Girl declined the offer, saying she was happy being with the GLA. The Thing. While visiting squirrel friends in Central Park, Squirrel Girl came across The Thing, fighting with Beast. She introduced herself as a fan, telling Thing that she owns a lunchbox with him on it, and she told the squirrels to retrieve the smelliest garbage that they could find and place it around the combatants, resulting in everyone having to hold their noses. Beast had to use both hands to hold his noses, leaving himself defenseless and allowing Thing to knock him out. I just spit on my fucking monitor. God damn it. Great Lakes Champions. Great Lakes Champions. Squirrel Girl and the rest of the newly renamed Great Lakes Champions, who took the name after winning a poker game, registered under the Superhuman Registration Act. The morning the law was enacted. However, mercenary for hire Deadpool, assuming champions were non-registered, attacked the team at their headquarters. Deadpool sought to integrate himself with the government by capturing non-registered heroes. Deadpool was bested in combat by Squirrel Girl. His distraction at her appearance and name contributed to his ability to mount on adequate defense to her attacks. Holy shit. Great Lakes Initiative. Deadpool and the GLA would later team up a few months later to take down AIM agents who had kidnapped a wayward Dionysus and fashioned an inebriation rate that made every superhero on the planet, save for Deadpool and GLI, drunk after the battle. After the battle, Deadpool decided to hang around the GLI's new government-funded headquarters as a reserve member for a while. Confronting Speedball. Squirrel Girl was a huge fan of the New Warriors, especially Robbie Speedball Baldwin, on whom she had a crush. She learned of Speedball's transformation into the darker hero code named Penance after Deadpool provided her with a copy of Civil War. Civil War, Frontline 10. Squirrel Girl traveled to Thunderbolt's Mountain to convince Robbie to lighten up and stop being Penance. Frustrated by his current attitude and unwavering determination to remain as Penance, Squirrel Girl traveled to Latveria to use one of Dr. Doom's time machines to travel to the past and prevent Speedball from ever becoming Penance. The machine instead transported her into the future, where she encountered an alternate version of Speedball, whom she unsuccessfully tried to get the travel back to the past with her, and Mr. Immortal, who told her she had an important task to perform in the past, namely kicking Deadpool out of the Great Lakes Initiative's headquarters. Secret Invasion.
When the Skrulls launched their invasion on Earth, Squirrel Girl and the GLI confronted their latest recruit, the new Grasshopper, who had revealed himself as a Skrull infiltrator. Sometime after the invasion was over, Squirrel Girl and her teammates welcomed Gravity to the GLA when he was relocated from Nevada to Wisconsin. Heroic Age. Squirrel Girl eventually realized that she was holding back her teammates, who wouldn't join her in fighting supervillains because she was competent enough to beat them on her own. After defeating Fin Fang Foom, while her teammates remained at their HQs calmly playing poker, she decided to unceremoniously leave the GLI and go solo. She would return to New York City not long after that. Danielle Cage's nanny. Dorian Green was hired to be the nanny of Danielle Cage and lived in the Avengers mansion alongside the new Avengers. She looked after the baby through many events, most notably the Serpent's invasion. When Luke Cage left the team, she followed him and Jessica Jones as she was still the nanny of their child. ESU stood. After leaving Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, Doreen started living secretly in the attic of the Avengers mansion until she enrolled in the Empire State University. During her first day of class, she encountered who would become her best friend and confidant, Nancy Whitehead, and her cat, Mew. Doreen also confronted Kraven the Hunter and convinced him to give up on his vendetta against Spider-Man. The first major threat that Doreen averted during her stay at the ESU was Galactus, whom Doreen managed to intercept as he was approaching the Earth. After bonding with Galactus, Doreen found him Newtopia XXIV, I don't know what that is. Newtopia XXIV, a moon completely forested with nut-bearing trees which sated his hunger. While at ESU, Doreen developed a crush on one of her first few acquaintances at the university, Thomas Laperez, later revealed to be the superhero Chipmunk Hunk, who possessed such a stupid name, who possessed similar powers to Squirrel Girls and fought crime together with his friend Kenshika, also known as Koi Boy. Both Chipmunk Hunk and Koi Boy became close friends with Doreen and her crime-fighting allies. Fun little fact about my amazing childhood dog Gomez, who sadly passed last year, was you could walk up to him when he could hear and walk, and you could say, "Give me that stick," and he would run even if he didn't have a stick in his mouth. Last night I had a dream where I was standing on a stage in front of a bunch of people, and I was like, I could peer into their minds almost, and know what they're all furries. I know what persona they were, so I just magically made them all furries. I thought it was really funny. And also Therians too. I made Therians into animals or whatever the fuck. During her second year at college, Doreen became a member of Sunspot's New Avengers and transitioned into the U.S. Avengers when Sunspot began working for S.H.I.E.L.D. and the American Intelligence Service. Doreen also assisted supervillain Thane Drain in reforming and becoming a good doer himself. During her subsequent adventures, Doreen most notably confronted Dr. Doom in the past and stopped the multiplying villain Enigmo from taking over the United States. For a brief time, Doreen received mentoring and even was gifted a flying suit from the entrepreneur Melissa Morbeck, though it turned to be part of the intricate plan of world domination. During a trip to the Savage Land, Doreen teamed up with Kraven the Hunter to fight a version of Ultron, which cemented him as an ally Squirrel Girl and swayed him from the path of villainy. At some point, Squirrel Girl was able to examine Vincent Doonan and study his Doombot technology. Study his Doombot technology in exchange for hanging out with Gwenpool. The two have also teamed up to rescue Gwen's brother, Teddypool, from Mephisto's realm. Gwenpool later remembered that incident fondly while speaking at Doreen's funeral. She fucking died? Oh, which was held after Squirrel staged her death. During the War of the Realms, Doreen was sent on a secret mission by Loki to save North America from the Frost Giants. She ran into Ratatuskr, and the two worked together, eventually managing to drive away the Frost Giants back to Jotunheim by sparking a political revolution against their monarchy. Shortly afterward, Doreen's life was torn apart by Melissa Morbeck. After escaping prison and laying the groundwork for her revenge, Melissa outed Doreen's identity to the public and blew up her apartment. What the fuck? Doreen and her allies were lured to Central Park, where Melissa took over Iron Man's armor to embrace the identity of Iron Ring, also revealing an alliance of many villains previously defeated by Doreen, including Doctor Doom. The tide of the battle shifted several times, with the Avengers arriving to help, and Melissa outfitting her allies with Iron Man suits in return. When Galactus became aware of the fight, he teleported. Many of the villains were formed by Doreen to her aid, but she almost died after shielding a bomb planted by Doom. God, she's so goated. She's such a fucking good person. Galactus personally appeared to stop the fight, disarming the villains and teleporting them to prison at Doreen's request. As she moved into a new chapter of her life, Doreen decided to embrace her public identity, since it allowed her to live more truthfully. Attributes. Powers. You sure rhetoric isn't one of your superpowers? Tony Stark. Squirrel powers. Squirrel Girl is a mutate with several traits that are similar or usually associated with squirrels. Squirrel Girl possesses superhuman strength, speed, agility, and reflexes. She possesses the proportional abilities of squirrels scaled up to human size. Power Grid. Intelligence 2, Strength 4, Speed 3, Durability 3, Energy Projection 1, Fighting Skills 4. Squirrel Girl is superhumanly strong and can lift between 800 pounds and 25 tons. Doreen's jaws are capable of biting with 1,085,000 pounds of pressure. What? This allows her, for instance, to chow through. So I want someone to go find and murder whoever made that spelling error in a video game, of course. Through a steel door, to chew through a steel door in a matter of seconds. Squirrel Girl's superhuman strength extends to her legs, allowing her to sleep several stories. Climbing. Squirrel Girl has small claws on each finger and toe to enhance her gripping. I'd like to see that. To enhance her gripping and climbing abilities. Squirrel Girl has a bushy. Yo, do you think she has the fucking Amazon rainforest down there? Squirrel Girl has a bushy, 3-foot-long, semi-prehensile tail that she can use to cover opponents' eyes or wrap around herself for warmth. Oh, that's so fucking cute. When in her civilian identity, she tucks into her pants, passing off the extra bulges, having a conspicuously awesome butt. That's so aura. According to herself, Doreen possesses good night vision. Due to her squirrel abilities, Doreen's peripheral vision is as sharp and clear as her direct gaze. That's really cool, actually. Squirrel Girl has a retractable knuckle spike capable of carving through solid wood. Why is this bitch so OP? Squirrel Girl can perfectly mimic squirrel sounds, which she refers to as squirrelese, as well as actually communicate with and direct the actions of squirrels. He often uses a number of squirrels to distract or even assault others, chewing through circuitry and other materials. She shares a close, possibly empathetic bond with certain squirrels, such as Monkey Joe and Tippy Toe. Squirrel Girl is able to heal at an accelerated rate. Abilities. Computer science expert. Dorian is an expert in computer science. Dorian has defeated multiple foes through speechcraft alone. A short list includes Craven, Hippo, the Frost Giant Invasion Force, and Galactus. During her time as an incidental ambassador between the 76 Worlds Alliance, Squirrel Girl assisted in negotiating and resolving grievances of 70 worlds. This is likely done with visual aids produced by Silver Surfer. Squirrel Girl has routinely broken the fourth wall and directly addressed the audience. Paraphernalia. Equipment. Squirrel Girl's costume. Deadpool's Guide to Supervillains cards. A series of 4,522 educational trading cards written by Deadpool. Dorian relies on these as a primary source of information for whatever villain she's facing. Deadpool's Guide to Supervillains accessories. An appendix of Deadpool's Guide to Supervillains, a series of 1,622 cards featuring different villains' methods of transportation, and an acorn locket. Weapons. Squirrels. Transportation. She has a squirrel gig and Squirrel Girl's teleporters. And there's some trivia here, but I'm not going to really read the trivia. I was just going to read the info. Oh, that's Squirrel Girl. She's a really funny superhero. I think she's like more of a joke character. Which is pretty cool. Alright, on to Jeff the Land Shark. Jeffrey, Land Shark, Earth 616. Quotes. That shark is a nightmare. Sharks should stay in the ocean where they belong. Storm. That's maybe a bit drastic. He's pretty cute. My head was in his mouth. Hisako. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's bad. Jeff the Land Shark. Name. Jeffrey, the first of his name, of the former Staten Island, or Staten Island. Aliases. Nicknames. Jeffy Boy. Other aliases. Jeff the Baby Land Shark. Great White Wonder, and Venom Jeff. Affiliation. Formerly Symbiote Hive. Pet of Kate Bishop and Gwenpool. Are they lesbians together? Relatives. Parents. MODOK. MODOK made him. Host of Venom. Venom 6. He's single. I'm not surprised. He's a fucking shark. I'm not gonna read this. First appearance. West Coast Avengers, Volume 3, Issue 7, in January 2019. He's very new, actually. But that'll look insane, yeah. Even come. Jeff was among the land sharks created by MODOK, following the fight against the masters of evil West Coast. Jeff was adopted by Gwenpool during her time on the West Coast Avengers. Jeff later ended up with Elsa Bloodstone, who promised to always take care of him. However, Gwen transported Jeff to Gwenpool's island, where he stayed in her viewing box with her friends instead of being forced to fight. Aww. He then watched as Gwenpool fought and defeated the Hulk. Gwen then decided to leave Jeff with Deadpool after she had doubts that she would have a solo series again, causing her to be worried about his future. Jeff served as Deadpool's royal pet while he was king of Staten Island. Like this fucking movie? Elsa Bloodstone took over from Deadpool and became Jeff's new caretaker. Once at a pool party, Jeff accidentally scared everyone away while swimming with only his fin above the water. When he re-emerged, he realized what had happened. What had happened. To prevent it from happening again, Jeff got a dolphin costume and swam dressed in it, successfully making people at ease when he passed by. That's so fucking cute. I think I read that comic. At some point, Jeff found his way to the Netherlands, where he had fun running on the fields of tulips. Unfortunately, he once again scared the locals with only his fin visible above the flowers. Oh yeah, because they thought there was a shark in the flowers. Jeff once again stole Captain America's shield. Not once again. Jeff once stole Captain America's shield, Kate Bishop's trick arrows, Miles' mask, Strange's Eye of Agamotto, Falcon's wings, and Black Widow's gauntlets. He later used the items to ambush the heroes when they went searching for the missing items. He also somehow came across the Infinity Gauntlet and ate it, along with other items. This caused him a great stomachache, forcing Kate to bring him to the doctor. Oh, tummy ache. Jeff began living with Kate inexplicably. Jeff became bonded to a symbiote, but appeared to be alright with the situation. After some time, Kate helped Jeff get rid of the parasite. Acting like it's just a fucking tapeworm. The symbiote didn't perish. And lay dormant in Jeff's closet. After Jeff was left behind in Kate's apartment due to taking too much time to change costumes. Aww. The symbiote rebonded to him. Jeff attempted to take it off and rampaged a bit through Central Park, so they decided to set their differences aside and work together to get food. The symbiote possessed Jeff arrived to Coney Island, where he stole food from the stands, was interrupted by attack of the zombiotes. Jeff helped Hawkeye, Gwenpool, and America Chavez and Fuse fighting the zombiotes, using his symbiote powers to take them down. After the zombiotes were defeated by a giant speaker broadcasting the Baby Shark song, Jeff and his symbiotes, having been satisfied, willingly separated from each other. With that out of the way, Jeff, his hero friends, and the surrounding crowd celebrated with churros. Personality. Overall, Jeff had the personality and behavior of a domesticated dog. Being a shark, Jeff enjoyed swimming and water in general. Since Gwenpool was the one to adopt him, Jeff became affectionate towards her, being immensely happy to see her. Aww. Or at least something resembling her. Jeff proved to be quite of a troublemaker and a gluttonous little beast, as all he wanted in his life was having fun with his friends and eating all kinds of food. Despite this, he was a loving individual who set aside his desires to help out others, and was quick to make friends out of everyone. He can breathe on water. It's pretty cool.